Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Guided Way, and I am your guide, Sean McCauley. And the next card for the read for this week is Forbidden. And this card is out of the Colette Baron Read Wisdom Oracle cards from the House of Night. And so this is basically a card of, maybe you're trying to work with something or you're trying to, you know, gain better insight to relationship, or just a number of things are just happening at this point in time. And it just feels like everywhere you go, everything that you touch, the answer that you're getting is just plain flat out no, because, this is forbidden for one reason or another, or maybe you're struggling with, or trying to get that promotion because maybe, you have the knowledge, but you don't have the experience. Or maybe you have, a lot of experience, but you don't necessarily have all the knowledge. Or maybe, there's something in this relationship, that is causing it to get stagnant or not being able to move forward. And so we're going to kind of go into that right now. And for the tarot cards I'll be using for this week, it will be the Phantasmagoria Vampire deck by Ian Daniels. And I will just give these a quick riffle. I'm going to get a quick shuffle, and again, I'll be using, as I've done in the last two videos, I will use the Tower spread again. And once I get the spread laid out, I'll explain the positions of the cards and what they mean. That was an accident, but that is a popper. So. And that's what the tower, as you're building it up, once you get close to the terrace, something happens and to where it's going to cause the parts of the terrace to collapse or to come off. Because maybe you've gotten to a point where maybe, okay, I like this direction, but I don't like where it's going at this point in time. So something needs to change. Or maybe something has occurred recently that has caused the change into the tower, into the structure of the tower. Okay, and this is the tower as it is all built and is set up. And the first card is right here. Your wants or your needs, what's being met, or what you need or what you want, if it's being met or not. And so we'll just take a quick look at that. The Nine of Skulls, in which case, in the tarot, it would be the Nine of Pentacles. So you're at a place of abundance, and your place of you have a home that you like, and you have, your friends and your family that has been accommodating. But at this point in time, your wants and needs are being met quite well. So we're going to go on to the second card. Now, what is causing all this to change? The Wheel of Fortune, and unfortunately, it's reversed. And so when the Wheel of Fortune is reversed, something is going to occur to where things are not going to stay as stable as they were, and you may find yourself on the flip side, because you may find yourself in a position where maybe the abundance wasn't as stable as you thought, and and the thing is that sometimes things can tend to take a downturn, and this is just part of life. When things change, you know if things are taking a downturn, don't fight against the flow. Sometimes you have to go with it in order to find out, exactly what it is. Because it's kind of like a river. You're not going to know where you're at, where the river ends, until you actually spend the time being on the journey itself, as opposed to starting up and trying to get to the end. Go to the third card, and the third card here is, why is it changing? And this is the Eight of Scepters, and of course, unfortunately, it's reversed. And as you can see, see this vampire, he's lunging. He appears to be very combative, and so this is not a very positive card at all. And so sometimes, that could be what is in the situation that is changing, and you have to take that into account and take that into effect. And you try to put things in emotions, and the thing is that they're starting to whatever you're trying to get in emotion, it's been stalled for some reason. And so maybe this is about a relationship that an unknown factor is taking place, or maybe if this is about work, it could be that maybe somebody else is getting that promotion, or maybe there's something extra or something more that you need to be able to do at this point in time. And so we're going to go on up into the structure, events or actions or motions, things that are moving at this point in time. And that is the Nine of Knives, in which case normally is in the Standard Tarot, it's the Nine of Swords. And usually this means that, you're having nightmares, things aren't going as well. You could be also be dealing with depression or stress, and you're feeling very restless or anxious because all these events are coming into effect. So it's starting to affect your sleep and, causing you to be more stressed than usual. And, that is a very easy thing to happen to any one of us at any point in time. But at this point, the event or the actions that's taking place is that, your anxieties are getting the better of you. And, you're starting to get stressed out, and it's causing you to lose sleep. It's causing you to have nightmares, and you're not taking care of yourself, because sometimes the best way to deal with the situation is just let the events unfold and then deal with what's left over in the aftermath. Well, we're going to go on up to the next card in the tower, and that is feelings towards the situation. How you feel about what's going on, and it's the Queen of Knives. But as you've seen with this card, even though it's upright, does not necessarily mean it's a good thing. And you've used your mind. You're very smart. You have your experiences and you learn from them, and you know how to communicate yourself well. And sometimes you can be a very good and helpful friend, but sometimes you might not lack. Oh, sorry, this is the Queen of Skulls. I'm sorry, that's So bad of me. I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses on. And, so since it's actually the Queen's Claws, I do apologize. I just not saw that. You've created a life of beauty, and, you have a sense of luxury, and you take great pride in your ability to, be very practical, and you want to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So at this point in time, maybe, focus on these things and try to, meditate on, the positive, and, focus on what you're surrounded by. And that way you can get over your sense of anxiety and your stress and your nightmares. And we're going to go up further up more to the tower here. The lesson of what is being learned. So, the Nine of Grails. And it's reversed. So this looks like this might be more about a relationship. We'll get more into that. Because sometimes in a relationship and we get comfortable, things can, take a turn on us and we're not quite ready for it. We're not expecting it. And, and sometimes it could just be a very depressing situation either way. And, so maybe at this point in time, you maybe kind of, getting in the way of herself with this card because, maybe you're hoarding, the good things that you have in your life and you're trying to pull them in more towards yourself and keep them more for you because you may be going, a little bit overboard and trying to keep the things that you feel bring happiness and joy to life. And, maybe gotten to a point where you're not feeling as practical about it as you should be. And we'll go further up into the tower and we're going to go into, the challenge or the obstacles, which is the star. And the star is that a sign of healing, it's a sign of hope, it's a sign of peace. And at this point in time, maybe you're not really giving yourself that chance to actually allow yourself to heal. And, you're not allowing yourself to give yourself that hope. And so I'm thinking that at this point, you're kind of getting in your own way of you being in order to get past the situation of what is forbidden. So now we're going to go into what it is that you need to release. And that is the Lord of Scepters. And it's essentially like the Knight of Scepters or what have you. So, it's reversed. So, at this point in time, you may have got to a point where you're being reckless about your actions and you're not giving yourself that time to heal, and you're holding yourself back because you're just running into the situation and you're being reckless. And in tarot, um, when the Fool is reversed or this card is reversed, fools rush in and they tread where angels dare not. So, this is something that you definitely need to release and get this out of the way. But I exercise caution. And what you need to rethink, the Six of Grails. And so you may be kind of thinking back on a time where things were simpler, things were easier. And normally when the Six of Grails is upright, you're trying to go back on things that are fondly. But maybe you're kind of looking more of the negative aspects of the things that have occurred in your past because you have not had a very easy road. It's not been a horrible path, but it has not been very easy. Especially when you've gotten to a point where, you were dealing with, the Nine of Swords or the Nine of Knives. And so, maybe you're beating yourself up and thinking that maybe you could have handled certain situations when you were younger, and maybe you could have handled them better. And we're going to go on into what it is that you need to rebuild. And the Eight of Knives. And what you need to rebuild in that aspect is that it's the Hanged Man and it's reversed. And sometimes when we find ourselves in bad situations, we just want to just jump in and try to fix everything and try to take care of it quickly. And sometimes we start flailing around and we just start grabbing the straws. And sometimes all we really need to do is just you maybe that you just need to try and get back in sync with yourself, and kind of watch of your actions and just flailing around. And because this is trying to tell you that at this point in time you just need to be still. And so what is forbidden at this point in time is that I hate to say it, but the answer is it's just no. So this pursuit that you've been working on, whether it be a job or a promotion or a relationship, whatever it is, this thing that you've been trying to pursue, the answer is no. And you've gone through enough trials and strife, trying to get what you want, and you haven't succeeded. And so the end result is that the answer is no. And so whatever this pursuit is, you're going to do more harm to yourself than good. So I am saying that since this is forbidden, and you are being, throughout this read, you are being told, you know enjoy your successes, focus on you, and take care of yourself, and try to find your sense of peace and your sense of hope, and find your own way to heal. Because you're going to go charging and rushing in, possibly making things worse, and then you're going to have regret because you'll be thinking about things when things were simpler and easier, but also at the same time, things that didn't necessarily go the way you wanted them to. And you're just going to keep flailing around and flailing around, and you're quite simply just being told that whatever your pursuit is that the answer is just no. So whatever it is that you've been striving for or working towards, I'm just going to say, the best advice is to let it go, let it be, and maybe it's somebody that you care about, somebody that you love, or maybe it's a job, or maybe it's a promotion, or it's a relationship with a family member or whatever. But wherever where that relationship is, it's not going to get any better, and it's not going to move forward. So just again, I would advise to just let it go. But I hope you liked this video. I hope it was helpful. And I'm just going to say stay safe and be blessed. And thank you for watching. And if you don't mind, click like and subscribe. And again, stay safe and be blessed.